So it's Friday, and Friday means we do a slightly extended reading where we look at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're doing a weekend forecast. What do we need to know? What do we need to be aware of? The decks that I've chosen to work with today is the Roots and Wings Oracle, and I'm pairing it with the Unfolding Path Tarot. The artwork is different, but there are similarities in the design and the style. So for that reason, I thought this would be a really, really good pairing. So we're going to start with the Roots and Wings Oracle, and we're going to give it a shuffle. So while I'm shuffling this, we're sort of asking Spirit for a theme. What is the theme for the next couple of days? What is the overarching energy, the overarching forecast that we are going to be navigating for the next 3 days? What is the thought process that we need to be keeping in our minds as we navigate Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 24, 25, and 26 May? We're also asking that all of you watching right now be blessed and be healed in whatever you're dealing with. So friends, it's been a tough week. For me, on a personal level, it's been a really, really hard week. I've had to deal with some really horrible things that we don't really want to deal with. And I know a lot of you have had similar experiences. So we're asking for healing. We're asking for love, light, and just the ease of suffering and the ease of pain and the ease of discomfort for anybody and everybody who is feeling it. And so it is. And so it is. All right, friends, let's see. What is our theme for the weekend, 24, 25, and 26 of May? Let's see what we get. Right, so just taking a single card, and it is breathe. You know what? Like, I get it. I get it. Just breathe. Sometimes it's all you can do. Sometimes when the pain and the suffering and the anguish and the stress and the anxiety is so great, all you can do in that moment is just breathe. And sometimes just focusing on that breath is all we need to help us to get through the situation. So I think that is just such beautiful confirmation for me on a personal level, but I'm sure for most of you as well, that sometimes, you know, we can stress, we can worry, we can be anxious. Of course we can. You know, we're really good at all of those things, aren't we? But sometimes we need to stop fretting. Sometimes we need to stop overthinking. Sometimes we need to stop over worrying, because actually it's such an unproductive emotion. It's such an unproductive activity. And sometimes if we just close our eyes and bring our attention, bring our focus back to our breath, it's amazing how much it calms the mind, how much it clears the heart, and how much it soothes the soul. You know, breathing is something we all do naturally, automatically, without conscious thought. It's something that, like our heartbeat and breathing, it's something that we just do naturally. But sometimes in life, we actually need to stop and check in. How are we doing with our breath? Are we breathing too shallow, or are we not breathing at all? Are we holding our breath? Because, you know, what we're doing with our breathing, the way our breathing is, actually says a lot about what you're going through in life. So if you're hyperventilating, if you're breathing really, really quickly, you know, that says something, just as if you're holding your breath in anticipation and in anxiety. All right, so Unfolding Path Tarot, what can you tell us about Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? In what ways do we need to breathe? In what ways do we need to be mindful and conscious of our breath? And maybe, you know, what is causing us to breathe unnaturally, to breathe too fast, too slow, too quick, too whatever, too shallow? You know, that is something else. All right, let's cut the deck. Let's have a look and see. Oh, we've got the Ace of Cups. We have got the World telling us it's all going to be okay. And we have the pain and the suffering of the Three of Wands. All right, friends. So what this is saying to us, you can see how much these cards have got all the white space. And that's the artwork that I thought, the art style that I thought would be so nice, and how they would work so well together. And they really do. So when we have the Ace of Cups, it's about these new emotions that are coming through, okay? Because that's what the Ace of Cups is. It's about these new energies, these new emotions, these new feelings. So whatever these new feelings are, whether they're good or bad, whether they're hard or easy, whether they're challenging or not, it's about just breathing through that. First of all, as I always say, when dealing with emotions, the number one thing to do is to acknowledge what you're feeling, to acknowledge how you are feeling. So that's the first thing. That's the most important thing. Acknowledge the emotion, acknowledge the feelings that you are experiencing, and understand that life is just cyclical. Okay, what I mean by that is life just goes around and around and around. No matter where you are, life carries on outside. No matter what you're dealing with, or matter how much you're suffering or what you're going through, the clock keeps ticking, the life keeps moving on, everybody keeps doing the things that they do. So you don't want to be left behind, because understanding the cyclical cycle of life, that it's sometimes we have good days and sometimes we have bad days. Sometimes good things happen, sometimes bad things happen. And when we're having a experience that we're not really grateful for or happy about or excited about, to just keep reminding yourself as you breathe through that experience that this is temporary, that this too shall pass. Because I think, friends, that is the most important thing. Again, it's about acknowledging the emotion, acknowledging the feelings, acknowledging what it is you're going through, but to recognize and acknowledge for yourself that this too shall pass, that it is temporary, that it's not going to last forever. And, we go through these cycles where we have happiness and we have sadness, and we have happiness and we have sadness. We have anger and frustration. We have excitement and enthusiasm. All of these kind of up and down, up and down, up and down emotions. But if we don't process the emotions that you're going through, if you don't feel the feelings, the negative feelings, if you don't experience and release the emotions that you're feeling, you're going to find yourself unable to breathe. And the message for us this weekend is to just acknowledge, if things are not going well for you, to just acknowledge if you're frustrated, if you're angry, if you're sad, if you're bitter, whatever the emotion is, because there's a whole lot of new emotions that are coming through the surface. And you know what? For us here in South Africa, we are heading into elections next week, which are so important, and we're all feeling nervous and anxious. I've spoken to, over the last couple of weeks, months even, most business people that I consult with, people who consult with me, I should say, business people who come to me, like, they're all saying business is quiet because everybody's waiting to see what happens with the emotions. So what are we doing? We're not breathing. We're holding our breath. So what's happening is this is having a knockoff effect on every other aspect of our lives. We're also nervous. We're also apprehensive. We're also scared. It's all of these emotions, and this, we've been here before. This is not our first rodeo. This is not the first time we've been here. But you know what? Every time we've been in this particular position, we've been okay. We've come out of it okay. It might not be fantastic. It might not be over the top, wah wah wah, but we're okay. And we need to acknowledge the fear, the anxiety, the stress, the panic, all of the emotions that we are feeling. And let's talk about it. Do we talk to our loved ones about how we're actually feeling? No, we don't. We talk when we're so angry that we're screaming and shouting and offloading. Okay, we do that. When you're so angry and so bitter and so upset, we offload in that way. But to actually just have a conversation of saying, I was so frustrated today because of, I was so sad today because of, I was so angry today because, we don't do that. We suppress because we're constantly thinking that we need to be this perfect individual, because if we're not perfect and if we don't have our emotions in control, nobody's going to like us, nobody's going to love us. And friends, that's not the truth. The truth is, we like other people more when we see that they are real, when we see that they are totally human with all the emotions, that they can go through all the emotions, that they're not stuck in absolute happiness or absolute joy or absolute sadness or absolute hatred. We need to understand that being human is cycling through all of these emotions. So right now, friends, as we go through this weekend, please just speak about, acknowledge, and feel your feelings. Spend a bit of time releasing the emotions that you have. And the way that you do that is by just breathing through it. Just that one breath. It's actually quite amazing as to what it does to your body and your soul, to your mind, to your heart, when you just release, just let it out. But to pay attention to your breathing, I always pay attention to my breathing by looking at my shoulders, by feeling my shoulders. Because if my shoulders are up like this, so we need to consciously drop them, like just bring them down, roll them a bit so that you're opening up your chest, that you're push them back, lower them, open up your chest so that you can bring air into your lungs. And it's amazing what that can do to just bring calm to the mind, to the heart, to the soul, to the physical being as well. Because if there's a lack of oxygen in the body starts dying. You know, it's a simple thing. Breathing is so important, especially when you're feeling feelings that are not full of joy, full of happiness, and full of excitement. So I hope you're able to turn things around for yourself this weekend, my darlings. I really hope that you're able to shift things. But like I said, we shift things by acknowledging what it is that we're experiencing, what it is that we're going through. I want, because I don't like leaving a reading on a negative, so I want to draw just one more card as acknowledgement and confirmation that, you know what, it's actually going to be okay, that we are actually going to be okay. So let's see. Spirit, don't let me down. This is me experiencing fear. This is me experiencing apprehension. All right, I'm acknowledging, I'm breathing through it. Whoops. Okay, so apparently we're going to take that one. I didn't see what it is, but it jumped in such a way, and I always get a feeling if a card jumps and I know whether it is one we need to take or not, and this was a yes. You see, thank you, Spirit. Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is about the perfect happy family, about the perfect happy life, about everything actually being okay. Everybody is smiling, everybody is happy, there is love, there is an abundance of love, there is an abundance of positivity. So this is absolute confirmation, friends, that if we can feel our feelings, process our feelings, breathe through our feelings this weekend, we're all going to be okay. And I do hope, I'm going to cover that one, and I do hope that you have an amazing weekend.